What a game. The games this weekend. My God. You know, this has been introduced with like a Steph Curry throw it incomplete to Devontae Adams. Wow. I mean, that's all I can say is wow. What is going on, guys? Back for the Love of Sports podcast. And today we're going to be talking about some comments that Tom Brady made yesterday that just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why it rubbed me the wrong way. I just found it kind of funny, to be honest with you, man. He said that the Patriot way is not the only way. And, you know, I heard that. I was like, dude, are you got to be kidding me? Of course it's not the only way. What do you think it's the only team that's ever won a Super Bowl is the Patriots? Of course not. And I know what he's alluding to. He's saying that he's been there for 20 years. He didn't realize there was another way to win. Like, no shit. Of course there is. You think they're like literally the only team that's ever won? You think they're the only system that works? There's plenty other teams that have good systems. And don't even get me started on the team he went to. He literally went to the best team possible to win a Super Bowl. He literally went to a team where Antonio Brown was their number 3 receiver. Like, what is that? Like, honestly, their number 3 receiver? That's unheard of. He's a Hall of Famer. He's the best receiver of this generation, probably. Him and Julio Jones, and he was their number 3. And their defense, don't even get me started there. Their 2 middle linebackers, Derek White and Levante David. They had Jason Pierre-Paul, Ndamukong Suh, Shaquille Barrett. I mean, the list is endless. It's ridiculous, man. Like, literally, Tom Brady went to the best team. And I keep saying that because I find it so hard to believe that he would have won on another team that wasn't as stacked as this. Because I watched him all year long. Granted, he played good in the playoffs. Let me say that again. He played good in the Super Bowl. Before those last 2 games, he threw 3 picks in the Green Bay game, should have lost, in my opinion. Threw 2 picks in the Saints game, should have lost, in my opinion. They just didn't capitalize, those other 2 teams. So I think that he's completely full of shit because it's almost like he's thrown the Patriots under the bus. But it's so funny because they made him who he is. Tom Brady, he didn't make the Patriots. Tom Brady is a product of 2 great systems, and I'll say that till this day. I mean, how can we fairly judge Tom Brady? He went from Bill Belichick, to me, the best coach ever, to Bruce Arians, one of the top 5 coaches in the NFL, in my opinion, and to a team I just mentioned that is stacked like Tampa is. It's like, how can you judge that? Like, how can you possibly say that it's not all Brady or it's not all Belichick? You can't. We'll never know because the team he went to is so good already that it's so impossible to judge how good the Patriots were or how good Tampa is because we saw what happened last year. We saw what happened with the Patriots. The Patriots went, 7-9, which is really not that bad. And they had so many guys out. They had a non-existent offense. Their defense all opted out. It was terrible. And they finished pretty decently. 7-9 is not that bad. And I think if they had literally anybody there to throw the ball to, they would have probably won 10 games. So it's definitely not the only way. Brady knows it's not the only way. There's plenty of other teams that have been successful for years. I mean, just look at the other teams in the NFL. The Colts for a long time. The Broncos, Green Bay Packers, the Steelers. I mean, there's so many other teams that have been good consistently. Maybe obviously not to the same degree the Patriots were for 20-plus years, but you know, of course it's not the only way, the Patriot way. And I think that for him to say that, and it just is funny to me because he's almost acting like he didn't go to another team that's loaded with a great system, with weapons like you wouldn't believe. Like I just mentioned, Antonio Brown was his number 3 receiver. Literally, he had Rob Gronkowski, another future Hall of Famer. And I don't want to hear people say, oh, Rob is so old. No, he's good. He's still good. He had Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Those were his 3 receivers, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Antonio Brown. How do you not win with those guys? I don't know anyone that's even a decent quarterback that wouldn't throw 40 touchdowns with those guys. Literally, I don't know anyone that's relatively decent that wouldn't throw 40 touchdowns with those 3 guys. And people are just looking so much into it. Like, granted, he's old. Yes, he is old. He's almost 45 years old. Granted, that's amazing. But for someone that's healthy, presumably healthy for the most of his career, I'm not that impressed. I'm not that impressed by him throwing 40 touchdowns. I'm not that impressed by him winning a Super Bowl with that team. I just mentioned he could have easily lost in the playoffs. They went 11-5. They lost plenty of times in the season. A lot of games he looked bad, and they won where it mattered. And you know, people all look at Brady and they give him, nothing but a pat on the back. But dude, I hate to tell you, you went to a team that's stacked, and that's the way I look at it. And I'm not hating on Brady. I think he's a great player. He's the best quarterback ever. I just think that he literally went to the most perfect situation imaginable. And for people to say that, he's the reason they won. He's one of the reasons they won. I think the players played hard for him, and I think he definitely brings a level of, expertise and just smarts to the game, to the team, and to the game that it's unteachable with other quarterbacks. But by all means, I don't think that for him to say that Patriot way, I thought the Patriot way was the only way. I mean, no one's buying that, dude. Like, no one's buying that at all. You obviously know that the Patriot way is not the only way. Bruce Arians' way works, obviously, doesn't it? You just won a Super Bowl with him. Antonio Brown was your number 3 receiver. There's another way. I mean, it's so easy to say, oh, it's not, I didn't know it was the only way. It's the only way unless you have this team. It's clearly the only way. I mean, what other guy goes to another team and his first year wins? Nobody. And you know why? Because most guys don't leave a team that's already so good and goes to another Super Bowl ready team. That almost never happens, literally ever. For him to leave a team that literally won the most ever in 20 years to go to a team where your number 3 receiver is Antonio Brown, and then you're going to say I didn't know it was the only way? I mean, come on, dude. Like, no shit, it's not the only way. You literally had Antonio Brown as your number 3 receiver, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. There's so many weapons, plus that defense that was so prolific. Of course there's other ways to win, and you just proved it. So I don't buy that even. I don't even like how he said that, because it's almost like he's throwing Bill Belichick under the bus, saying, oh, man, I was trapped here for so long. I didn't think I could get out. I didn't think there was another way to win somewhere else. Well, you found out there is, and you look like kind of like an asshole. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong by saying that. I know he didn't mean anything by it. I'm taking it out of context. Let me know what you guys think about that comment, man. I just wanted to comment on that. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.